Thanks for joining our webinar for today. We're still waiting to see if there's anyone who'll be joining us in the next few seconds. If not, yeah, we'll start. All right. Thank you for joining us for today's webinar. My name is Kanish and I am the product manager for Integricity. All right. So today is a very significant day for Integricity because we have recently discovered a very powerful tool that we can use for document management system. And this tool complements your investment in Microsoft Teams, and we'll explain all of that later. Okay, this tool is called Titan Workspace. Today we want to launch our partnership with Titan Workspace, and we want to introduce to you what Titan Workspace can do and how it can help you manage your document in compliance. All right, so before we get things started, there are two avenues that you can ask questions. Number one, as you are listening to today's presentation, right, you can ask your questions through the chat box in Microsoft Teams. All right, you can do that. We will capture your questions and we will help you ask the questions during the Q&A session later. Okay, but if you don't want to type it out in the chat box, we actually prepared another avenue for you to ask questions. There's a QR code on the screen right now. Yeah, and all you need to do is to scan this QR code and it will lead you to a page called Slido. Here, you can ask your questions as an anonymous person, okay? So if you are shy, you don't want everyone to see your question, you don't want everyone to see your name, it's okay. You use this method and you can ask your questions as an anonymous person, okay? You can actually scan now, right? Like what I'm doing. And then you can try out the page, you can type test and whatnot. So later during the session, immediately you can start asking questions. We will attempt to answer them later. All right, so what we're going to do today is two things. We are going to introduce Integricity, and then we're going to share with you about Titan Workspace. So to introduce Integricity, we have a very special someone, and he is the Chief Operations Officer of Integricity Technology. So put your hands together and help me welcome Sir Adnil Puente.
Thank you very much, Sir Kanesh. Okay. So, good morning to all of you, and thank you for joining us in this partnership between Integricity Technology and Titan Workspace. But before anything else, please allow me to introduce myself. I am Adnil Puente. And so that you don't forget, Adnil is Linda spelled in reverse. It's my mother's name. I'm a certified public accountant. I am the head of the operations of Integricity Technology. About Integricity, Integricity is a distributor of digital transformation solutions in the areas of IT service management, business process automation, and collaboration in Malaysia, Singapore, and Philippines. We have been in operations for more than 20 years now. We are headquartered in Malaysia, and we have a service delivery hub in the Philippines. Some of our clients include MyNews, Zalora, Touch and Go, Pyongnam, Petron, Ogawa, and many more across various industries. At Integricity, our mission is to deliver extraordinary solutions extraordinarily well. So for our products, we rigorously look for extraordinary solutions that help our clients achieve their fullest potential and improve work lives in the process through security, process, and automation. Some of our solution includes Kaseya Virtual Systems Administrator. It is a remote monitoring and management tool. And what makes it special is that if your machine encounters an issue, it can automatically detect it and solve it on its own. Then we have Fresh Service. It's a service desk solution designed for all service organizations like HR, IT, general services, and its unique selling proposition is that it can solve tickets without human touch. We have Freshdesk that provides omni-channel support for emails, phone, as well as social media and chat like Facebook, Teams, and WhatsApp. We have Threat Locker. It's a zero trust application whitelisting solution that allows only authorized applications to run and blocks everything else. That way, even virus and malwares that are programs would not be able to run. We also have web root endpoint protection. We are also the distributor of Hexnode. It's a mobile device management that also offers zero-touch deployment, meaning once the device is issued, everything is configured and secured automatically. It is used by McDonald's for their kiosks. But regardless how amazing our solutions are, without proper service delivery, it becomes ordinary. And that is the centerpiece of our business. We strive to deliver solutions extraordinarily well. This is shown in the value added services that we provide. We have client success, wherein we visit clients every quarter to ensure that they are happy. We have quarterly training and enablement to secure that clients are knowledgeable to maximize the use of their solution. We have solutions delivery to ensure that we deliver our solutions in the most professional manner. We heavily invest in project management and certifications to see that solutions are delivered in the most special way. Then we have our very own support portal powered by Freshness to ensure that concerns are handled in the fastest possible time and the best customer service. All these efforts and initiatives are very much well accepted by clients, giving us a very high client happiness rating. And aligned with delivering extraordinary solutions extraordinarily well, I am very excited to announce that we found an extraordinary solution, a document management system for Microsoft 365 that offers easy management, security, and most importantly, compliance. It also offers document approval, e-signatures, and easy provisioning of access rights. The solution is fully configurable and can be delivered in 2 weeks' time. And the best part is that it is on subscription. So without further ado, introducing Titan Workspace Document Management System. And to tell you more about this extraordinary solution is the equally extraordinary Chief Executive Officer of Titan Workspace. Please welcome Mr. Ashish Kamotra.
Thank you, Adnil, for the wonderful presentation and the introduction. I'm very excited to be part of this introductory webinar today. And I'd like to share some of my observations, experiences, thoughts on how this entire Microsoft 365 benefits can be extended to users without any much complications, right? So before I start my webinar, just want to highlight that what was the purpose of creating Titan Workspace? As Adnil has already summarized that we have a document management system that simplifies everything within M365. But important is, why did we build it? So we found that when customers have M365 and they want to use it for document management, they find it very difficult to use most of the important features, such as restricting their files within their project directories or My Documents or Teams channel. And if they want to do all that, they have to learn SharePoint. And SharePoint is a very complicated thing. It is maybe an easy thing for an IT savvy programmer, but it is an extremely complicated and challenging for a business user to learn SharePoint and learn all these restrictions, how to put document restrictions and everything. So our thought was that if we have to help our business users to achieve all that, so why can't we build a product that is implemented on top of customers M365, and it enables all those features which otherwise would need either a very rigorous training or a lot of customizations or technical knowledge. So that's how the Titan Workspace was built. So Titan Workspace is a suite of different applications, but today we are going to focus only on the document management capabilities of it. So without taking much time, let me share my screen. All right. I hope everyone can see my screen. So now we will discuss some of the common business problems that all of us face when we are trying to use M365 or for that matter, Microsoft Teams channel files for internal collaboration. I'm going to focus on some of the key important areas of a document management, which is security and compliance. Approvals is one of the important day-to-day work where we have to get our documents approved from our managers, from the HR, finance, and everybody. And we will demonstrate you how Titan document approval system can help you with that. Also today we are going to cover and show you how Titan can help you to extend your documents to guest users through a very secure portal. Office 365 allows you to add guest users, which could be your subcontractors, which could be your vendors, customers. They can come and you can share the information and documents with them. You can put the document restriction with them. But how to do it securely with a branded portal? That's what I'm going to talk about today. And one of my important use case that I'm going to talk about is that we have everything secure on cloud. And we have file restrictions, we have access rights, and we have all those on documents already applied on your cloud. It could be in your My Documents within cloud or in your project documents or departmental documents. What if you're traveling and you don't have an access to internet? How can you bring the entire cloud to your local drive with all the permissions, restrictions, metadata, and everything intact so that you are able to work offline? So Titan allows you to create your entire DMS within M365 and bring that entire image as an offline on your C drive so that you can work. So with this, let me move on to the direct benefits that Titan offers, right? So the first one is sharing and security, file security. Okay. So what is the use case here in our day-to-day life? So use case is that you have a file in one of the SharePoint sites or in Microsoft Teams channel file. You want to share it with other people, but you want to restrict that file that the other person cannot download it, cannot modify it, cannot delete it, cannot print it. But it's very difficult for you to do that unless you know SharePoint. So this is the first simplification that we do, that we help you to allow all business users to put file restrictions and increase their document security. So these files could be lying in your Microsoft Teams channel. These files could be in your project sites. These files could be in My Documents. These could be your document repository within departments. These files could be your HR files or accounting or finance files. One of the challenge today is if you are sharing your files to Microsoft Teams channel. So when you upload a file in Teams channel, it's available to all team members and it is prone to deletion, addition without the knowledge. So Titan allows you to restrict all those within Microsoft Teams by creating a simple interface between Teams and Titan that allows you to achieve. So let me show you how Titan looks before I jump on to the next use case. So Titan can be used. It's as you know, it's an app within Microsoft Teams. This is the interface how Titan document management looks. Now I'm showing you through Teams. You can use it without Teams as well on any browser, or there's a separate mobile app that allows you to access all your documents with full restrictions through your mobile devices. So this is the introduction of our document management. And here, if you look at the left side, your My Documents, departmental documents, the documents which are shared with the business users or shared by business user, they are all aligned very nicely. In case there are document approvals, you may receive a document where you have to sign it, or you may raise a request for somebody to approve that document. So it's an inbox and outbox concept. Then you can create multiple different groups of your document libraries where you can invite other users, and you can put all kind of restrictions on that. These groups are not only your SharePoint libraries. These could be, you can bring your Teams channel directly into Titan and put file restrictions on top. So my first use case, as I said, is easy to use restrictions on a file. OK, so let me, now this is the Teams interface. Let me also show you how Titan can be accessed without Microsoft Teams through any browser. So I am now opening up Titan through the document management through a normal browser. So this is how Titan would look in a normal browser. Very user friendly, very easy to understand. So my first use case is, how can I put restrictions very easily on a file? So for that, I just select this file. I go to share. Now it gives me options. I can create my own user groups. I can share it with external companies. These are all external companies where I can share this document, or I can share it with project teams. If I'm part of different projects, I can share it with different projects. Or I can pick up your Active Directory user. So we are fully integrated with your Azure Active Directory, and you can pick up the name directly from the Active Directory. So once you do this, what happens is, the next step is that you have to put restrictions on the file. So it's so easy. So just the drop down, there are three options. One is full access. Now this is restricted access, and or read only access, and the restricted access. If you look at this restricted access, so you can put this restrictions on your Teams channel file, project sites, My Documents, HR files, or wherever you want. And the recipient will only be able to see this online, but they'll not be able to modify this file or update this file on the cloud, right? So this is the security. See, when we talk about security, security is very important in document scenario, but the challenge with security is the business users find it very challenging to apply these restrictions on the documents as they want. OK, so these could be very easy. And once you share it, what happens? Once you share a file through Titan, you can see the entire sharing history right in front of you. Then when was this file shared with whom? And you can go and you can even revoke these files so that the sharing stops. You can have all kind of filters to whom you have shared, or you have shared as this. So it's a very user friendly. It doesn't look like a very complicated document management system. And the good thing is it's all working with your own Office 365, same login and same ID that you're using. So this was my first use case that we're talking about, that putting restrictions is made easy. So my next use case is about the benefits of document approvals. Document approval is we all need document approval. For example, it could be a pricing sheet, it could be an expense report, it could be a budget approval, it could be a policy approval, any kind of documents that I want in my company to be approved. Titan allows you to do all that within Microsoft Teams or on your browser. Approval can be to one person, to multiple approvers, multiple levels, different hierarchies, and you can all configure it by yourself. There is no coding, no technical knowledge needed to do all that. When you are sending a document for approval, it could be a contract. You can not only send it to approvals for your internal employees, you can send it to approvals to a secure guest user portal to your contractors, customers, subcontractors, temporary employees, or vendors for e-signatures. For e-signature, Titan has its own free e-sign service as part of subscription, which is currently available only to your Active Directory and the guest users. However, we have a full deep integration with Adobe eSign, where Adobe eSignature can be initiated from Titan workflows. And the good thing is, once the document is executed, it does not, you don't have to come and upload it again into Titan or any DMS. It automatically comes back from Adobe to your same repository from where the document was initially initiated for approval. So this is the second use case where we have simplified the way your document approval works. So let me now show you how this really works in the real-time scenarios, right? So this is another example I'm going to show you. This is an asset allocation example that each employee has to sign if a new IT asset is allocated to them. Each employee has to sign that and submit that to IT. So this approval has been initiated through Titan, and this approval has been completed. So let me show you how this looks. So these are all the approval steps. It was initiated by somebody from IT. It was sent to employee, then signed by manager, and then goes back to IT as a fully signed document, right? And good thing is that these number of steps, they are all dynamic. You can create as many approvers right at the time of creating a document, right? And how does this look? Once this document is fully approved, it gets automatically converted into an asset, this PDF. See, all this is an asset approval form, and this is all e-signatured, very nicely converted into a PDF with a QR code, and now it's filed within Titan as a fully executed document. Okay, now if you have to achieve this, otherwise your options are that you have to buy Adobe e-signature, or you have to buy DocuSign, or you have to have a customized document approval system that allows you to do that. Even I can track if I've sent a document for approval, I can track the history. I can see where the document is getting stuck, who's the next approvers, and I can send them the reminders and everything. Okay, so this is the simple way of creating any document approval mechanism within Microsoft Teams or Microsoft Office 365. Okay, so this was my use case 2, where we showed you that how we have simplified the approval systems, right? The third use case, which I'm going to talk about, it's one of the very important aspect of your HR or financial or legal compliances, is compliance feature. So what is a compliance feature? Compliance feature is, think of your organization, and if you have an HR policy and you want every employee to read this policy, accept it, and then you get their legal signatures digitally on the file with date, timestamp, with IP address fully tagged to it, and then it goes into your repository of compliance that this employee has read and accepted these terms and conditions, or a document or a policy. It could be between your company and your employees. It could be between your companies and subcontractors or vendors or any guest users where you want them to sign the policy. So there are many scenarios where a compliance is needed. For example, compliance is very important in pharma. There are government regulations globally that, every country has their own set of rules that if there are pharma employees, they must go through certain documents which are mandatory for them to read. And then they have to submit these compliance, reports to the federal governments. Titan is one of the key important applications that's helping these pharma companies to achieve all this. Another thing, day-to-day life is, suppose if you are a 500 employees company and your HR sends a legal or an HR, there are changes in your HR policy, and then you want every employee to acknowledge it. Today, your HR is sending them emails as an attachment and then asking everybody to reply, yes, I accept, I accept. But it's impossible to track 500 emails or 5,000 emails, right? Titan solves all that. So let me show you how. So I'm again going to this slide, okay? And if you look at the same file, I have shared with some other employees where I wanted them to acknowledge, read and acknowledge. So if you look at Michael, he has acknowledged, and there's another person and she has not acknowledged. So if I go to this report, I can see that it is lying, it is not acknowledged, but I can notify with one click that this is pending. Those who have acknowledged, this is now legally tracked and stored in our databases within your M365 that Michael has acknowledged this file. This is an IP address, fully digital signatures, embedded at the back end of the compliance system. So, and there are reports available to business users that if you're sending it to 5,000 employees for a document to be read and accepted, how many have accepted, how many have not accepted, and you can with one click send a reminder to it. So this was my use case that was mainly for the compliance. And my last use case that I'm going to talk today is about the local directory sync. How can you work offline? As I said, offline is available. A lot of business Office 365 users have OneDrive already synced into their local directories in the local system. So one could ask, if I already have OneDrive and all my files on M365 are already there, what is the benefit of Titan offline access? Now, the Titan offline access is an added advantage to your OneDrive sync. How? When you're working with Titan or in project documents or in departmental documents or in Microsoft Teams files, you are putting a lot of metadata on that. That means this file is associated with this department, or this file is approved by this gentleman. All the approver history is there, or this file is linked to this department or this project, or this file is linked to this particular Teams channel and others are restricted. So anything over and above that you are putting as an add-on to M365, we capture that too, which, it's very difficult to have that captured in OneDrive unless you know how to achieve all that using SharePoint. So we have simplified it. So let me show you the real time that how a business user would see that. For example, this is my, this is my DMS. And this is my one document, my documents. They are all synced with my local directory. They are in Titan and they are all seamlessly working remote, offline and online, right? So if you look at all these directories here, And if I go to any particular directory inside it, so there are a lot of files. If I want to bring this particular document repository onto my local drive, all I have to do is I go to Titan, go to this particular repository and say sync. Once I press sync, what happens is system brings everything into my local drive. So you see on my left side, it's my Windows Explorer locally. I already had OneDrive, which the OneDrive documents are synced, but it is not helping me because it is not segregating documents from different projects. It is not segregating documents from different departments, or it is not segregating documents based on permissions. Titan allows you to create this repository. And if you look at this, I have brought all my important document sources, including my DMS here, right? So if you look at this, the entire DMS that you saw on my cloud with full restrictions is here. So if I go to the same here, you see all these files are here again. So so whether I work in local machine or I work in cloud within my DMS, they are all synced. So any document updation, any new document created here will automatically get synced there, any changes. So most of the time these days, I'm not going to cloud. I'm working offline only because one, it is very easy for me to access these files instantly, right, from here. So this is the feature that we wanted to talk about today, that how Titan can really help business users to leverage more power of M365 and Microsoft Teams without learning SharePoint, without any technical skills, and without any trainings. So my next slide would be, it's based on guest user portal. So as I said, I explained you the concept that if you're sharing any document from your Teams or your M365 or OneDrive today, what is happening is that the recipient of that, who is not your employee, is a guest user. So they are getting a link in their email and they can go and open that file. Titan has further simplified it. So Titan extends a guest user portal to all guest users which are not your employees or they are not M365 users. Okay. So these all these portals can be configured by business users directly. There's no programming or there's no SharePoint skills needed. So this is an example of one of the portals that a guest user has. So for a guest user, he doesn't have M365 account. He only gets one URL, and once he enters his portal, you can see that now he has an access to it. So Titan, apart from document management, also has project management, task management, workflow automation capabilities. So if you're talking about documents, so this is the guest user who has received the entire portal with documents management built inside it, the documents that an internal user is sharing with external user. External user can go and access that. They can even have an approval dashboards inside and outside. So it's so easy, for an external user. So it could be your subcontractor. Imagine that you have a temporary employee who doesn't have M365 account, is your contract employee, but you want him to work on certain projects, you want to access certain documents securely, and you want to control his access onto the internal document. So this is the best way that you can extend a portal to your guest user. So this portal is totally in the control of the business users, not in the control of IT. And that's how we have simplified the entire Titan experience here. Titan comes with the complete mobile app for both iOS as well as Android. And also there's a separate guest user app for documents for guest users. So it's a very integrated experience. You can work within Teams, you can work within browser, you can work on your mobile devices. So you can work from anywhere, in fact, and access all that information and document with full security. We are growing at a very fast pace globally. In Southeast Asia, we have Integrity as one of our key distributors, which is now we're very excited to work with them, and we would like to bring more customer stories to from different part of the world to Southeast Asian customers for them to learn that how our uh, customers globally are leveraging Titan and how they have simplified. So Vito Capital is one of the leading mutual fund and financial services company in India. So they implemented Titan, and Titan has solved their DMS pains tremendously, and their productivity has jumped manyfold. And this is a testimonial from our customers, right? We can share you great customer stories, but in the interest of the time, we like to restrict our um, conversations to DMS today. My last slide is about the full view of Titan. So Titan document management is one of the modules. However, Titan also offers other modules, and you can buy them modular. It's an integrated app, but you can either buy documents only, or you can build workflows module only, or project or task, or it's a ready-made intranet as well. So depending upon your need, we cover the full spectrum of your collaboration needs. When you buy document management, you also have an option to extend that feature and build more workflows within the same applications, or extend that features, now extend project and the task management applications to some of your business users, or maybe you can extend an intranet to your company. So it's all an integrated approach. You can buy modular, but you can always have an option to scale it up, and it works on top of your M365 with entire security inherited by Titan from your M365 tenant. Thank you very much, and it's over to Kanesh for any question and answers. I'll be glad to answer anything that can help our business users on this call to understand it more better.
Thank you, Ashish. Thanks for sharing about Titan Workspace and how the document management system can really improve our workflow, and it definitely improves in our investment for Microsoft 365. Now, if you have any questions at all, there is a link that is being posted up in the chat right now. So you can ask your questions in that link as an anonymous person. Right now, we've got 10 questions recorded already. So I'll ask these questions to Ashish. Maybe you can answer. If you can answer it on a high level, that will be helpful. And then for further details, we will reach out to you and we'll do a proper presentation. Yeah, like that. All right. So first question, let me read this. Okay, can Titan implement with other third-party Microsoft application such as Jira, DocuSign, Evernote, meaning having all these application, can they communicate with Titan?
Yes, see, today we don't have that capability. We are currently working only on integrating first the e-signatures. We have completed our integration with Adobe Sign. Now, the next release, we are coming up with DocuSign. Gradually, yes, it's a roadmap that Jira or other things will also come very soon in Titan as one of the document repositories.
All right, thanks.
But another thing is, Anish, that we allow customers to bring any document repository within their M365 tenant within Titan easily. So if they already created those sites, so Titan allows you to integrate everything within Titan.
All right, thanks for that, Ashish. Now I see that you use Titan using Microsoft 365. Does it take a lot to load in terms of the usage of resources? Does it slow down the performance of the computer?
No, look, the good thing about Titan is that we are not running from our data centers. It is not a third-party cloud. Titan is an app that is deployed on your M365 tenant directly. So therefore, Microsoft is taking care of your security, scalability, performance, at the back end. So we are working as a SharePoint site. So Microsoft has already created a system so scalable that there's no issue with the performances. So you can always go and update your resources within your admin panel on M365 and control the performances.
Okay, thanks for that. Next is a very, very famous question that is a frequently asked question. Can you use Titan without Microsoft Teams?
Yes. As I said, if you are a Teams heavy user, Titan, you can access Titan through Teams as an app. But if you don't have Teams, you can use it through browser, as I said, and I demonstrated it through browser tour today. Or if you are not having a browser at that time, you can even go and download the app and you can access everything on your mobile app.
All right, but they have to be on a Microsoft tenant, right? If they're not a 365 users.
Yes, it works only on Microsoft 365.
Okay. There are two questions which are very similar, so I've just asked this once. Will the e-signature, the e-signature thing with employees be legally binding?
Yeah. See, for legal binding of the compliances, the general guidelines are that the IP address, the user ID tag, which is in your Active Directory, and the location, all they need to be captured and posted. So the four key basic things that are needed for legal compliance, Titan takes care of all that.
All right, yeah, okay. So in terms of e-signature, right? Can we have two signature at the same level before the approval of the CAO? Meaning that we have signature from IT manager and procurement manager, and then it gets pushed to the CEO.
Yeah, yes. So this is so dynamic that you can create any level of approval system by yourself.
Okay. Can the SharePoint file sync be disabled or prohibited by the administrator?
If you don't want locally drive to be synced, you can switch off that feature at the tenant level, so it will not be synced with the local drives. But this is an option available to everybody that he wants to work offline.
Okay, so on that note, if there's a file sync to local drive, does it then take your local storage?
Yes.
It does. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So inside DMS, Titan can track any document changes between different author inside the document. If yes, does it split the document into different versions?
Yeah, we have the full version controlling. Every changes is tracked by version, and this is the Microsoft Office 365 feature. See, good thing about Titan is that at the back end, all services are being used by M365's core services. So Office 365 and SharePoint already have document version control very beautifully built inside the system. We are just simplifying it and bringing it in a nice interface for business users.
Okay. So on a similar topic, when we are working offline, what happens if multiple users updating the same file, and when they go online, does it then create multiple version, or like what happens then?
See, it is a very great question, and this is a global problem, right? And we have to go the way Microsoft Sync works. We unfortunately or fortunately, we can't write our own sync methodologies. We have to go through the way Microsoft Sync is allowed. So what Microsoft says is the last updated will be, whosoever updates first will get updated first. And it works on FIFO mechanism in terms of the moment you get an internet connectivity, the changes are written. But the good thing is for each change, it tracks the different version, number one. Second, now to reduce this pain, what we have allowed it, you can pick up a file in Titan and you can say that I lock this file. If you lock that file, right, that means even if somebody else is working on that file, he cannot update it. Or if even he's working offline or online, he cannot go and, update the changes on that file. Even if he's allowed to do the changes, the files will not get updated. So that is one restriction that you can put where, you're saying that till the time I finish, nobody else should be modifying this document, right? It's a very, very common business scenario that if I finish it, then only you look at this. So Titan controls that with that kind of a feature.
Okay, thanks for sharing that. Let me see. Okay, if a person's laptop got stolen, can Titan wipe the existing file inside our local storage?
If the laptop gets stolen, can we delete? To the question, if I understand correctly, can we delete the local OneDrive?
Yeah.
And the local sync?
Yeah.
I don't think so that we can do it today, but I'll get back to you on that. But I don't think there's any way that we can uh, delete the local files of a stolen laptop as of today, right?
From an admin level, can we stop?
We can stop,
yeah.
We can stop the further sync. We can do everything. We can disable that account, but files which are lying locally, we can't do much about them.
Okay. Okay. So what about third-party vendors? Can they utilize document approval? Like for example, for project charter, for plans, etc. Can we use your approval stuff?
Yeah.
Okay, we can. Okay. And
through portal, through our guest portal.
How does that work? Yeah.
Yeah, so you will be extending a guest portal to them.
Okay.
And in that guest portal, they will see all the approvals and everything, the tasks, and they can initiate e-signatures within their guest portals.
Do we need to add the guest into our Active Directory?
Yes, you need to add to, and that's we have even simplified that. So we have created an Azure dashboard within Titan that allows you to track the guest user very easily without being the tenant administrator.
Okay. Okay. All right. Can Titan be integrated with SAP?
Yes, we can. This can be integrated with, see, theoretically, it's a SharePoint site. So Microsoft allows any integration with any other databases or any other, applications. So theoretically, yes, but the use case based on the actual usage, we will be able to comment that what is the need and what kind of integration is needed.
Okay. So on the same topic of SAP, PO for purchasing is done via SAP, and there's another PO from Titan Workspace. So how can you help us differentiate this?
See, typically, if the PO is initiated, if the PO is initiated from SAP after the execution, you can post it in your DMS and you can put restrictions on top of it. That's a very simple use case because it's coming from SAP to Titan, right? Now, the other question is, if we initiate a purchase order from Titan and then you want to post it to SAP, then we need to integrate. Yes, it is possible, but we need to integrate it with SAP.
Okay. Next question. My SharePoint can do certain control with my documentation. So how is Titan different and how can it add value?
See, look, we are doing everything that the SharePoint is capable of doing, but we are simplifying it for business users. So our mission is to help business users to use all these features without learning SharePoint. But if you already know SharePoint and you're working on out-of-box sites and you can achieve all that use cases, then you may go ahead with that. But we generally see that business users find it very challenging to use and learn SharePoint. And so we are not building anything or changing any core structure of SharePoint in Titan. We are just simplifying it.
So on that note, we have a very famous question, FAQ, but this person asked it rightly. If I'm going to pitch to my management, what are some things I can say? Because my boss would say that we already have SharePoint. Why would I need Titan? Yeah.
Right. So you already have a SharePoint, but it is not being used. OK. With Titan, you will be able to use, you saw those features, right? E-signatures or document approvals or workflows or putting security so easily or building customer guest user portals. Yes, with customizations, you can achieve in SharePoint. What Titan, the value Titan is bringing with customizations, wherever you could have achieved or you could have gone in 1 year or 2 years, we are helping you to start today. So we are saving your time and cost and risk, lower risk.
Okay. Okay. All right. Oh, there's another question that just came in. When you said integrated with SAP, do you need a license access or just pull and push an API?
Just pull and push an API.
Right. So I hope that answered your questions. Okay,
Yeah.
let me check. Yeah, go ahead.
SAP license is not needed.
Okay, not required. Okay, that's all the questions we have at the moment. I'm going to give all of you maybe just 1 to 2 minutes. If you have any follow-up questions, you can quickly write it down. We'll capture it and we will get Ashish to answer them. If not, that's okay because we can always set up a presentation with you to further dwell in this solution. All right. Another 20 seconds. Any follow-up questions? What you can also do is quickly type it out in the chat box, and then we can help you port it to Slido later, so we have a record. Right. Okay. So that's all. Ashish, thank you for answering all these questions. And for those of you attending our webinar today,